Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you another method that has worked for me this month, and hopefully you can continue to use it for the rest of the month for yourself, and hopefully it can work. I have only tested Florida because that's the state in which I'm in, but feel free to test it for your state or wherever, whichever country you're in, and hopefully it can work. This method is very simple. I am showing it to you on screen, but feel free to get a piece of paper. You don't have to do it on screen. You can get pen and paper and write it down. And feel free to also pause as I'm explaining it to you so that you can follow along. But basically what I do is I just number across the board from 1 to 9. So let me just demonstrate what that looks like. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that is going to be my starting reference. My numbers I'm looking at are the numbers that came for Florida February 1st midday, which was 743, and Florida February 1st evening, which is the 323. These are the numbers that's sitting right here, 743 and 323. Those are going to be my hit numbers or my starting points to demonstrate how this has worked. If you want to, you can go back to January to see how the method works and how many numbers you can actually collect for a full month. But if you don't want to, you can always just test February 1st for your state and continue going on from there, right? You don't have to go back a full month to back test if you don't want to. So let's start with the 743. So I'm going to do 743 under the 1, 743 under the 2, 743 under the 3, and so on. 4 under the 5, under the 6, under the 7, under the 8, under the 9, right? So from there, what I'm using the 1 for, so it's going to be 7, 4, 3 plus 1. So 7 plus 1, 4 plus 1, 3 plus 1. So that's going to give me 854. And then I'm going to do 743 plus 2. So it's going to be 7 plus 2, which is 9, 4 plus 2, which is 6, 5, 2 plus 3, which is 5, right? So it's going to be 965. And the same thing for number 3. So it's going to be the 3 plus the 7, which is the 0, 3 plus 4, which is 7, 3 plus 3, which is 6. And I'm just going to continue to number it because of Excel. It takes away the 0 from there, but just know that this number is 076. So I'm going to do the same thing for the 4. 4 and 7 is 1. 4 and 4 is 8. 4 and 3 is 7. So I'm just going to continue to fill it in for the 5 as well as the 6, 7, 7, 4, 3, the 9, which is going to give me the 6, 3, 2. Okay, so if you followed along from when I did the 743 and the 1, 743 and the 2, you should be able to fill out your numbers straight to the 9. Now, with these number combinations, what I've done is I've actually looked to see what numbers that have come for February so that we can pull those numbers out and see how many hits that we've gotten. So just starting with number 1, the number that has falling within this here, I see 2 numbers. I see the 583 and I also see the 354. So 583. So for the month of February for Florida, I'm going to just highlight this a different color. On February 4th, 583 came. And February 7th, the 354 came. So just by looking at these numbers here, I'm looking at patterns. So this pattern here, the 8-5 crosses right there, as well as the 3-4-5 lands in that right corner, right? So let's go over to number 2. Number 2 also has a 3-5-4 that fell. And then if you look on February 3rd, a 6-3-5 came. Let me just highlight this a different color so that we know to separate that for the hits that came out of it. So that 0 pulled out from there, but 407 came on February 4th, that evening number, 407, right? If we're looking at number 4, I don't see any particular hits here. But if we look at number 5, I see the 947 that came out. So 947 came on the 5th of February. And then on the 9th of February, the 938 also came out from there. If we continue just to move over in this corner here, we have 2 numbers. We have that 407 that hit, and we also have that 403 that came on February 10th. Here is also the same thing too, that 407 and a 403. In this one here, I have the 354. And for this one here, I have the evening number. So the 743 was the Florida February 1st midday. That 323 right there is the evening number. So this is just to demonstrate that midday number, but let's take a closer look at the evening number just so that we can also take a look at how the double fell. So the even number, let's just start with number 1 to 9 first so that we have our reference points. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Once again, you can do this on a sheet of paper to make it easier for you just to write it down. You don't have to use a computer or you don't have to use Excel. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. Now 323 is what came for that evening. So let's just write down our 323 because that's our hit number for reference. And then let's go back and add our numbers to it. So 3 plus 1 is 4, 2 and 1 is 3, and 4. And so you're going to fill it in accordingly, just like that. The same way we did the top row, right? So that 3 plus 2 is 5. The 2 and 2 is a 4. And, oh my goodness, sorry. Let me correct that. So it's going to be 5, 4, 5. The 3 and 3 is 6. And the 3 and 2 is 5. So it's going to be 6, 5, 6. And so on. So we're going to just continue. You can pause the video here and fill yours in. But I'm going to just move along and continue to fill mine in. So the 4 and the 3 is 7. The 4 and the 2 is 6. So it's going to be 7, 6, 7 there. I'm just going to go ahead and fill it in. You also go ahead and fill yours in. Okay, so let's take a look here to see what numbers came out of this here. So just by looking at 1, I don't see any of the hits that came out for February as yet from that double. I do see that 354 that came on the 7th. We also had that same 354 number from the 743 hit. So let's just move this to a different color so that we can identify the hits. That 635 that came on February the 3rd, that's right there. That came out of this one as well. And then if you move over to number 6, the 938. Now, just by looking at this, I don't see any other numbers that have come so far, but there are a few things that's standing out, like that 423 standing out. 723 is also standing out because it's showing up both in number 4 and number 5. Those are numbers that could possibly come later on in the month, as well as a 321, right? Um, but this is just to show you a quick demonstration as to how this method could work for you. It has worked to where you could have maybe gotten about 8 hits out of this. So depending on how you're playing, for the first 10 days of the month, you could have won anywhere from $320 to $4,000. So that's the range. It's a huge range, right? But it's all according to one, how you play and how many numbers you play, how many times you hit. But in 10 days, hitting 8 numbers is not that bad. Um, like I said, this is for Florida that I'm testing for. This is the state in which I'm in. Please feel free to back test your own state. You can start with February, or if you want to be just have a more comprehensive look, you could go back to January 1st and say, well, let's see if the numbers fell for the entire month, right? I'm just using February 1st numbers, but you could use numbers from the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. You could use it every single day. But if you want to be consistent and get a couple hits during the month, um, you could just use that first number and as a reference point. But if you're like, you know what, I need a hit every day, then feel free to just use whatever numbers came out as your reference point to do this. But please comment down below if you try this method, if it works for you. If you want me to try a different state, I'll be glad to. But I just wanted to come out here just to show you what I've done so far for the month of February and what has been working for me. So please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you can continue to get more of my amazing methods, and stay tuned for what's to come. But you guys take care. Have a good day.